How's everybody doing? Adventure AZRC here. I'm Gabriel. Today we're going to be doing a bench video because this past week has been pretty warm and this week has been bringing us some rain that is much needed. Not many of my rigs are waterproof and I got vented tires, so today we'll bring y'all a bench video. I've been wanting to share with everybody this suspension setup that I've come up with, and it's done me pretty good. I wanted to share it with y'all, see if y'all wanted to try it, what you think about it. I would like to try the internal sprung shocks, but yet again, they're not tunable. Sometimes this, your weight just distribution in the rig itself is not always perfect as far as, right to left, side to side with it. So sometimes, let's take this off this, just to show you guys, sometimes, your weight, it'll want to lean. Sometimes you get a little lean, and with internal sprung, you can't, adjust that collar and bring this side upright and fully tune and adjust your suspension. So in order to be able to keep and fully tune and adjust your suspension, I've come up with this idea that we change out the springs. So for instance, this is the Capra 100 mil spring, 100 mil shock. Okay. And at first, we were running the what is it? The Axial SEX10 Pro. See, I have a different spring on this one. The springs that come on this, the red springs, we were running on this, and then we had that collar. Here, let me show you guys on the side that has light. We were running this spring and had the collar way up there, but it was still just too much spring. So from that 90 mil, from the SEX10 3 90 mil shocks, so instead we took the 90 mil springs from the Vanquish SAE shocks, and we put those on here. And yes, it's got, try to get my fingers out of the shot. Yes, it's got some play, but that's what allows that really good droop setup, that low set, along with not wanting to unload as easy, and even if it does unload, it's not the full length of the springs. That's why we got our suck down winches, to keep from that. But to get that nice droop setup and get a suspension that operates very nicely, running a shorter spring has been a fun thing that I've been playing with. So like I said, these are the 100 mil Capra shocks, axial shocks, and we are running the blue. Keep in mind, because we can also change the rate. The blue SAE springs. And if we wanted to, we could even go as far as, throwing 80 mil springs. So like, let's check out this other Capra that I've got. Try to not push this off. Check out this other Capra, guys. This one is another Capra. I'm missing steering. It's kind of taken apart right now, in the middle of doing some things to this one. This one's my wife's, but on hers, she doesn't have a suck down winch, and I wanted her to be able to still have plenty of suspension travel. So on this one, I threw those Axial SEX10 3 shocks on, But these springs right here are 80 mil SAE springs. So they allow for that droop. But they're the blue. So you can, like I said, you can always play with them. And I want on a 100 mil spring, I could throw the 80 mil, or I'm sorry, on a 100 mil shock, I could throw an 80 mil. So for instance, sorry, let me explain this. I have a 100 mil shock and I wanted it to sit lower but still have enough stiffness. I could run an 80 mil, yellow spring, which is going to be more stiffer. You can sit here and play with it, and after you play with the spring length and rate that you want, you can sit here and play with this collar too to also adjust the height just a little bit. I mean, it's the adjustability is amazing. But let's get back to this one, because this is something interesting that I've done with this, and it's worked very well for this Capra. So we have the 80 mil springs on the 90 mil shocks. If I haven't been saying that, I'm sorry. I will put that up on the screen. These are the 90 mil axial shocks. And we extended the rear. So we extended the rear with the Traxxas links. So we went ahead and did the Capra 100 mil shocks, and we kept the 90 mil springs, SAE springs, in the blue rate. So this says 100 mil shocks with 90 mil springs in the rear, and the front has 90 mil shock with 80 mil spring. And it creates quite a level. I mean, the rear does have a little bit more droop. It's okay to have a little more droop in the rear. But the most important thing is it sits and rides very level. It's kind of hard to get that on camera, but with those adjustable shock collars, you can get that to ride better, more flat and even. But this is something I've been wanting to share with y'all. Something I've been playing with the springs. I really liked the idea of a droop suspension, but I don't like I don't like not having the adjustability of internal sprung shocks. So, just like over here on the Helaman, that's internal sprung. You can swap out those springs, but you cannot adjust this collar right here. This collar gives you so much more adjustability. Once you change, the spring length and rate to what you want. I mean, you look at just on the SAE. Look at this right here, how much adjustability. Okay? So look, another thing. I got my Fordyce, my little trail pig here. Just to give you an example, this is SAE 90 mil shocks with 80 mil springs. See? And it creates a very stable suspension. Keep in mind, weight in tires is going to play a good effect or a good factor in stability. But it's just the possibilities are endless. I mean, like I said, these are the blue, so the medium spring rate, 80 mil springs. As you can see, there's play in it. 80 mil springs on 90 mil shocks. And this thing is a little heavier, quite heavier. So in order to get that, let me see, that decent ride height where I want it and still have some spring action, but still drooped where I want it, I ran that spring and ran this collar down that low. The adjustability is there. So you guys have to let me know what you think. Thought it was a pretty decent option, you know. Well, folks, sorry for that interruption on the outro. I had to get my AC fixed. Guy come by to fix the AC. Don't want to be without AC here in Arizona, you know. So had to get that handled. But anyway, let me know what you guys think on that suspension modification. I thought it was a pretty good idea. Run shorter springs to get that droop suspension and get, you know, a better stable suspension when you're flexed out in obstacles. The springs seem to swap over really well from axial shocks to Vanquish. I haven't tried any other brands and whatnot. As far as the springs sitting in the spring cup, they work out fine just swapping those over. I haven't tried any other brands. So you guys have to let me know what you think. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. We will catch you next time.